Bonjour mes amis, bienvenue à Parlons Francais. Welcome to Let's Speak French. It's good to see you again today. I'm glad you're with us. And I'm excited about all the information that I'm going to give you today in our French class. I hope you've been practicing. And today we're going to start with a quick review of our clothing words. This word right here, les habits. And remember, clothing, is it masculine or feminine? Masculine. Right? You remembered that, I bet. So we're going to start with a review of our clothing words that we did last time we were together. First of all, we talked about this word, which was le chapeau. Le chapeau. That means hat. And then we kind of moved down and went to our shirt, which was la chemise. La chemise. I'm wondering if you're saying these before I am now because you've already learned them. All right. I hope so. And this word we use for sock, what do you think it is? La chaussette. La chaussette. And the next one obviously went to the shoe, which was la chaussure. La chaussure, this word here, both of those are feminine, so that's easy to remember. Everything on our feet is feminine that we wear on our feet, but the word for foot is actually masculine. But we'll get to those later. And then we get to our pants, which was le pantalon. Now remember we talked about pants being singular. It's singular. It's not pants. We don't say les pantalons. It's le pantalon means our pair of pants. And ladies, dresses are this one. It looks like robe, but it actually means dress. I want you to say this one, la robe. La robe. And then we get to stockings or type of leggings, le bas, le bas. And the next one, a blouse. This one was easy because it looks like the English word. We already know how to say that. And it's easy to remember that it's feminine because, first of all, we say la. And if you're practicing, you'll remember that la blouse sounds right and not le. But also think of ladies are the ones that wear blouses typically. And so that makes it easy to remember it's feminine. And the same thing for skirt. Ladies wear skirts, it's feminine. It's easy to remember that way. And we use this word here, which was la jupe. La jupe. The word for pullover, sweater, kind of thing we wear over our shirt. Borrowed that English word, le pullover. Le pullover. Bathing suit was le maillot, le maillot. And in jean, we also use the word in English as well, le jean, le jean. And we threw in a couple of supplemental words last time. We did this one, which was mais. Mais, that's the conjunction but, as in I want to go, but I can't. Or but I have to work. It's the conjunction but. That's mais. And then we learned over and under, on top of under. First of all was sous, which was under, sous. And then sur, which means on. Like on the table. Sur la table, sous la table. Now also, just want to tell you something, a little cultural note about the word sous, S-O-U-S. Have you ever heard of someone that is a sous chef? A sous chef is someone who works under the main chef. So we use this word in certain contexts in English. It's a good way to think about it. A sous chef is right under a chef, and it means under. All right, let's talk about some people that we see. All right, let's think about some people that we see. Put these words into context. All right, we're going to do a little progression of sentences here. This one, look at this sentence here that brings all this together. Le garçon et la jeune fille sont là-bas. Le garçon et la jeune fille sont là-bas. So try to interpret this with me as I'm going through it. Also, the boy and the girl, the young girl is what we're really saying, are over there. The boy and the young girl are over there. All right. Now let's talk about what they're wearing. You're going to see that we're going to use the word en, to say what they're wearing. We're not going to say the boy is wearing pants. We're going to say the boy is in pants, basically, using the word en. All right, so look at this sentence here. Le garçon est ton pantalon, mais la jeune fille est ton maillot. All right, let's pronounce that one more time. Le garçon est ton pantalon, mais la jeune fille est ton maillot. So let's try to interpret this together. The boy is wearing pants or in pants, but the young girl is in a, you got it, bathing suit. Excellent. All right. Now let's look at the plural version of that and change up the clothing just a little bit. Les jeunes filles sont en pantalon et en pullover. Let's say that again. Les jeunes filles sont en pantalon et en pullover. So try to sort through this one with me really quick. So the girls, plural now, are wearing pants or in pants and in pullovers or sweaters, if we want to say it that way. Okay, let's look at a couple more just random sentences that kind of bring some things in. Different words that we've learned, just contextual sentences. Here's one. Il va à la plage avec toi. Il va à la plage avec toi. Il est à la plage avec sa sœur. Il est à la plage avec sa sœur. And one more. Il est à l'école. Il est à l'école. Now let's go back to the first sentence. Il va à la plage avec toi. Now notice that avec is one of those words that we're going to use moi and toi after instead of avec tu or avec je. We're going to change it to that disjunctive pronoun. Il va à la plage avec toi. He is going where? To the beach with you. Next one was, il est à la plage avec sa sœur. He is at the beach with his sister. Okay? Or, yeah. So you could say at the beach, on the beach. It kind of works the same way. And the last one we talked about was il est à l'école. He is at school or he is in school. It really works the same way. All right. Now, after today's episode, describe your own clothing. Again, keep practicing. Then look at pictures. You're looking at a newspaper or magazine or watching television, and you see someone's clothing. Hit pause on your television. Describe their clothing. Hit pause now and describe what I'm wearing today. And look at your family, your friends, family members, and describe what they're wearing. And later we're going to add colors to your vocabulary, which is going to be fun. You'll be able to talk about what you're wearing in even more detail. All right. So it's exciting that we're going to be able to have so much conversation in the near future. Now let's take a break to add to something that we did before. Now previously we talked about that word chez, meaning at someone's house or at home. So chez and avec. I mentioned a few minutes ago we'd be discussing this today. Chez and avec both use disjunctive pronouns. Now, disjunctive pronouns, if you're not sure what disjunctive pronouns are, look those up, Google them. Don't want to take a lot of class time talking about what they are in particular, but I want you just to kind of know the rule right now that these two words, chez and avec, both use these other pronouns. Now, I'm going to give those to you now. And guess what? We're going to continue to add. We already learned moi and toi. We're going to give you the other ones. Okay, I told you before, there's some other ones. So here they come. Now, remember, we don't say je, we say moi. And we don't say tu, we say toi. So with, avec, with you, avec toi, with me, avec moi, At your house, chez toi. At my house, chez moi. All right, let's get the other disjunctive pronouns. All right, first of all, I think if you want to use the chart, this would be a good opportunity to use the chart. We're going to put a chart on our board here and put these disjunctive pronouns up there. So on the top left, we've got the word moi. We already learned that, bringing that in our conversation already. And again, in the middle, we have toi. Toi. Now on the bottom left, really the only one that's different is the he form, the il. After chez and avec, we're not going to say chez il or avec il. We're going to say this word, lui. L-U-I, lui. That means in some context him, some context his. So his house would be chez lui. With him would be avec lui. But now when we get to she, her or hers, we will use the same pronoun that we always do, which is elle. Elle. Okay? So with her is avec elle, and at her house, chez elle. All right. So several of these are the same. We're going to go to the top right over here and look at the we. With us or at our house. It's nous, the same thing as always. So with us, avec nous. Now that's not hard to remember, is it? At our house, you guessed it, chez nous. All right, same thing. Now guess what? Since we do nous the same, we're also going to do vous the same. So in the middle right of our chart, we're going to put vous. With you, plural, or you respectfully, avec vous. At your house, chez vous. There we go. All right, that brings us to the next one on the bottom right. Remember, the he was strange. Well, the masculine they is going to be strange. All right. And this word is E-U-X. So we want to say with them, avec eux. At their house, chez eux. All right. And then our last one together is, together with il, is going to be the they feminine version, elle, and it stays the same. So with them, girls, avec elles, at their house, chez elles. All right. So really quick, let's just kind of say these just to solidify them and make them internalized so that they sound right to us. And that way, when they come up in conversation, a little flag comes up in your head and says, either, yes, I said that right, or whoops, that's something different, and we change it. All right. So say these after me. Chez moi, chez toi, chez lui, chez elle, chez nous, chez vous, chez eux, and chez elle. All right, now let's do it with the word with. Solidifying the sounds. Avec moi, avec toi, avec lui, avec elle, avec nous, avec vous, avec eux, and avec elle. All right. Great job. Bring those into your conversation. This is going to really open up those little tiny words and phrases that start to fill in those gaps. That's the great part. Now, I also want to take a moment to just, when we're talking, I know I keep mentioning to you and encouraging you about getting on websites. Well, there are some language learning programs that are really good for learning language. Some you have to pay for, and some you don't. One that I have my students do a lot is Duolingo. At duolingo.com, this is one example of a program. There are several out there, but this is one program that does a lot of the same thing as some of the other programs that you pay for, but it's free. All you need is an email address. set up your account. You can even do it on your phone, download the app, and all of a sudden, you're going through lessons. And these lessons, I like to have my students do these because it helps to fill in the gaps. Sometimes you have a lesson that covers a topic, but then there are little filler words that aren't necessarily in one of your units or lessons. And it really does help to bring in those little filler words and fill in those gaps. All right, now before we move on, let's try some random sentences that bring in several different items that we've learned. Now, we may need to pause after each one to allow you time to translate them. That's great. I'd love for you to think about these. Now, I'm going to put these up in English, and then I want you to try to think about what they would be in French. And I'll give you just a moment to think about it before I put them up on the board here. So this first sentence I want to put up in English is Nadine is at home. Nadine is at home. Think about that one. Uses something we just went over again. Let's put it up in French. Nadine est chez elle. Nadine est chez elle. All right, I bet you got that one right. That's great. Now this one in English. Mr. and Mrs. Duclos are her parents, and Denise is her sister. That's a long sentence. You might be saying, wow, can I say all that? Yes, you can. You certainly can. Mr. and Mrs. Duclos are her parents, and Denise is her sister. All right, think about that one. So take it step by step. Mr. and Mrs. Duclos, Monsieur et Madame Duclos are her parents. Sont ses parents et Denise et sa sœur. Let's say that whole sentence again. Monsieur et Madame Duclos sont ses parents et Denise est sa sœur. Awesome. Great job. Let's do a few more. Nadine is going to the beach with her family. Nadine is going to the beach with her family. Now let's take it step by step. Try to translate this to French. We don't say Nadine is going, we say Nadine goes. So Nadine va à la plage avec sa famille. Let's say that whole thing again. Nadine va à la plage avec sa famille. All right. Now this one, the girls are in bathing suits. The girls are in bathing suits. Okay? Now remember, we say en to mean someone is wearing something. Les jeunes filles sont en maillot. Now I'm taking it word by word. Les jeunes filles sont en maillot. But now let's say it fluid because we have a consonant carryover here after the T. Les jeunes filles sont en maillot. Les jeunes filles sont en maillot. All right. Okay, we've used some good contextual sentences. Now let's talk about some more places to go. We're talking about going to the beach. Let's add to it how we might get there and also some supplemental words. Okay, here's some words. Get ready with your cahier, your notebook, and your crayon, your pencil, or your stylo, your pen. And let's write some new words down. This one is le jardin. Le jardin. Now this can mean the garden or the yard. The garden or the yard. Other languages have a similarity with that word as well, where it means both. So, le jardin. A lot of people like to go here. Le parc, the park. Now we saw this word earlier in an example. La fleur, the flower. The flower. Now this one, you're in the park, maybe you're next to a lake, you might take one of these. Write this one down. Le bateau, which is the boat. And sometimes you may have one of these. Let's add a little phrase to the end of le bateau and put le bateau à voile. Le bateau à voile. That means sailboat. So the voile is implying the sail. All right, the next one is La feuille. La feuille. Now, earlier in an episode, I believe I mentioned feuille when we talked about pronunciation, a sheet, feuille de papier. Well, this also means leaf. It's a leaf. And so you're walking in the park, maybe in the fall, you're going to see a lot of these, la feuille. Outside your house, you probably have one of these, le garage, the garage. And you might travel with one of these in the park or driving around town in France, le vélo, which is the bicycle. The bicycle. Bikes are very common in Europe, especially if you're in what country? The Netherlands. Everybody rides bikes in the Netherlands, but they're very popular in Belgium and France and Germany, other parts of Europe as well. The cities are more condensed and therefore it's easy to get around on bikes and lots of sidewalks too. So now this next one is really, really popular in Europe. Le train, the train. If you're in Europe, you might want to consider buying a Eurail pass because you can travel all over Europe with that Eurail pass for that one price. And so it's a great way to see different parts of Europe. I have traveled in Europe by train, and next thing you know, you're in another country. It's great way to travel. So, le train, this is very well a word you might use if you're there. And this one, la voiture. We talked about this earlier when we talked about other contextual sentences, and we said this means car, the car. And the next word is la moto, which means the moped or the motorcycle or scooter. Those are very popular in Europe as well. And just to bring in one we used in context before, officially learn it, le camion, which means the truck. And finally, if we're going to France from here, we'll probably take one of these, l'avion, which means, probably guessed it, the airplane. You can notice by that AVI, implying travel by air from the Latin root, meaning bird. Okay, now let's use a couple of supplemental words that you might bring into these. En, we talked about a while ago how that means someone is wearing something. They're in pants or in a bathing suit. It can also mean by way of when we're talking about traveling. And this word, par, P-A-R, now we're going to use this when we talk about traveling by train. We're going to say par le train, by the train. That's how we traveled. And if you go to Europe, get ready to walk a whole lot, because that's the easy way to go. This one, à pied, which means by foot, traveling by foot. So nous allons à pied. We're going by foot. All right, before we look at these in context, we're going to throw in a little grammar point that's going to relate to this. We're going to talk just briefly about the word à. This letter with the accent à. We've used this many, many times in our previous lessons. A with an accent, you know it means at or to. All right, but I want to show you what happens when you have à next to the word le. I mentioned this last class, but let's just bring it in officially. À and le changes to o. So we don't have à and le next to each other. Now we can have à and we can have la next to each other. But next, à and le becomes o. Now what happens when we have à and les, plural together? Guess what? They become, you can probably already figure this out, o, A-U-X. All right, so that's what happens with à and les. Now it's time to put all this together in context. Let's look at some sentences. I want you to try to break these down as they come up, start kind of processing them mentally. What do these mean? And also listen to the pronunciation. Here's your first sentence. Nous allons au jardin aujourd'hui. Say it one more time. Nous allons au jardin aujourd'hui. What do you think this means? So breaking this sentence down. Yes, you're already figuring this out. We are going to the garden, or you could say yard, today. We're going to the garden today. All right. So let's talk about something else we're going to do right now. Je vais au parc maintenant. Je vais au parc maintenant. I what? Am going, where am I going today? To the park. And remember what maintenant means? It means now. So I'm going to the park now. Okay, you're doing a great job. I know this next sentence coming up. Il va à Paris par le train. There's that word par we talked about. You have to use with train. Il va à Paris par le train. What do you think this is saying? So he is what? He is going to Paris, and he's going by the train, by way of train. Great. Let's look at a few more. Ils vont aux États-Unis demain. Ils vont aux États-Unis demain. Now, we're talking about girls here because it says elles, plural, and not ils. So we're only talking about girls. And they are going to the, something plural. What do you think États-Unis might mean? You're probably guessing it. The States United, the United States. And they're going tomorrow, demain. So they're going to the United States tomorrow. All right. Je vais chez moi en voiture. Je vais chez moi en voiture. You're probably figuring this out. I am going to my house, and I'm going by car. Now, we've looked at some great examples today, guys. I hope you'll be practicing. I hope you'll come back next time and learn some more French. That's it for now, for today, for Parlons Francais.